what the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Brothers and sisters, rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Soul Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone beseech for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou shalt thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is earth to be served worth to praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is that true servant and last apostle. Ameen. We'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. We have Brother Captain Hakeem and the believers from Richmond. We have Sister Catrice Skies from New Jersey, and Cortress from New Jersey, and I believe that's it. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Today we like to talk about, you dumb Israelite, Jesus was a Muslim. I was watching these niggas, man. I can't not call these niggas nigga, man. I just can't do it. I was watching these niggas, man. And they continue to attack the messenger. Continue. So this brother, he one of the ones I believe, because there's a lot of them that used to be Muslims. I think he one of them. His name is Captain Uri. And he talking about he from the tribe of Reuben. He got in here talking about proof that Islam plagiarized the Bible. Now let's look at what plagiarize means. Simple Google search. It says plagiarize is to take the work or an idea of someone else and pass it off as one's own. When does Islam take anything from the Bible and pass it along as if it's his own? Because what we got to remember about the Bible, these are stories of the prophets. All of the prophets got their laws and rules from God. They did not make up any of the laws and rules that they had. All of the prophets, from Adam all the way down to Jesus, got their laws and rules from God. So when we have the Holy Quran, it tells us that Prophet Muhammad got his laws and rules from God. So Islam does not plagiarize anything from the Bible. But what does the Holy Quran say about the Bible? This comes from chapter 2, verse 75. It says, do you then hope that they would believe in you, and a party from among them indeed used to hear the word of Allah, then altered it after they had understood it, and they know this. This is talking about the Jews. So it has a footnote 115. It says that the Israelites did not preserve their sacred books in their purity is a constant charge laid by the Holy Quran against the Jews. In fact, the alteration and corruption of the various books of the Bible is now proved beyond all doubt. All praise is due to Allah. So when these Israelites, when they try to say that Islam plagiarizes from the Bible, why don't they show us what did the Bible or the Holy Quran plagiarize from the Bible? Because what Allah constantly tells us about the Israelites is that they added lies to the Bible. That's why we have a gospel of course. It's so easy. And that's why I think I don't like Israelites so much. It's because the lies that they tell, it's so easy to prove wrong. I don't understand how these brothers is getting so big, how they can lie on the messenger so much, and they tell elementary lies. They don't, it's not like these brothers is telling something that's so sophisticated that you, even when you go to the Bible and it talks about the gospel according to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, that lets you know that the white man has altered it. Yes. But let's go to the message. We always like to start with the message. We want to go to the May 14th, 1965, Muhammad speaks. And it's the article is called, What is Islam? The messenger says, Islam is entire submission to Allah God. Islam is the constitutional laws, rules, and regulations of Allah God. Obedience to Allah God is demanded throughout the Bible and Holy Quran. The prophets call on us to submit and obey. That is, submit to the will of Allah God and to obey and follow his prophets, messengers, and apostles. He says it is impossible for us to be believers of Allah God without obedience to his will. This means that we love Allah God, and we do not question his will. We accept it without reservation. Therefore, to be a Muslim, we must submit to the will of Allah God. That's what the messenger taught us is a Muslim. He said we love Allah, and we submit to his will without reservation. Now let's show you how Jesus was a Muslim. Because these niggas say Islam plagiarized the Bible. So they trying to tell the black man that Islam is a fake religion, but we just plagiarize from the Bible. Now let's go to Jesus and show you how he was a Muslim. This comes from John 4:34. It says, Jesus said to them, my food is to do the will of him who sent me and to accomplish his work. That's what Jesus said. That these lying Israelites don't want to accept. Because Jesus was not a Jew. Jesus was a Muslim. The messenger told us these are stories of the prophets. And he said the white man wrote the Bible to hide the truth from the black man. Because the messenger said that Moses taught Islam. But he said the white man added paganism to Islam and called it Judaism. Then the messenger said another white man came, added more paganism to Islam and called it Catholicism. Then he said another white man came with more paganism to add to Islam and called it Christianity. So it all started out as Islam. Jesus was a Muslim. So the Jews added paganism to Islam and called it Judaism. So we can't say Jesus was a Jew. Jesus was a Muslim. The white people he came to was Jews. They had added lies to the Torah. So when Jesus came, he told the Jew, he said, my food is to do the will of him who sent me and to accomplish his work. Now, if the Jews was God's people, they would be doing the will of God too. But they were not. They were Jews, practicing Judaism, adding lies to the Torah. So they didn't accept Jesus as a prophet. Jesus was doing something completely different from what they was doing. They was following their own will. They didn't want to hear Jesus telling them about no will of his Father. They wanted to do their will. So let's go on even further with Jesus. This is John 5, verse 30. Jesus said, I can myself do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is righteous. Because I do not seek my own will, but the will of my Father who sent me. Once again, Jesus telling the Jews he a Muslim. I didn't come here to do my will. I come here to do the will of the one who sent me. Now, if the Jews was God's people, if the Jews was righteous, they would have been doing God's will too. Yes. Because they had the Torah, which was revealed to Moses. So if they was following what God told Moses to tell the Jew, then Jesus wouldn't have been nothing strange to them. Right. But since they added lies to the Torah, they've been following their own will. They hated Jesus. Who he think he is telling us he doing the will of his Father? We in control. We in charge. We don't want to hear nothing Jesus got to say. So let's go on even further with Jesus. This is John 6, verse 38. Jesus says, for I have come down from heaven, not to do my own will, but the will of him who sent me. Once again. He continued to tell the Jews, this ain't nothing, because the Jews was used to doing what they wanted to do. So when they saw Jesus, they thinking, he doing something. No, I'm not like you. I'm not doing what I want to do. I'm doing what he telling me to do. That's a Muslim. That's right. He continued to tell the Jew, I'm a Muslim. Right. I don't do my will like you do. I do the will of him who sent me. So the Jews continually to get mad at Jesus. He keep telling us about a will that's other than our own will. Because let's keep going. Let's go to John 14, verse 31. Jesus said, but that the world may know that I love the Father, and as the Father commanded me, even so I do. So Jesus continued, I love the Father. If the Jews love the Father, they would love Jesus. Because Jesus telling them, I love the Father. I'm just doing what the Father commanded me to do. How many times do he got to keep telling them that he doing the will? They didn't want to hear Jesus. They didn't want to follow because they not Muslims. They devils. That's something that these nigger Israelites don't understand because they niggas. And niggas is fuel for the fire. Right. That's That's what a nigga is. A nigga is hard-headed. Because this week I was reading the messenger teach about our Savior has arrived in the sure truth. The messenger talked about Ad and Thamud. These were two Arab tribes that Allah sent prophets to. These people did not accept God's prophets or Allah's prophets. They felt like they didn't want to listen to the prophet of Allah. So in the story, they asked, I believe it was Thamud, and the prophet that came to them, his name was Salih. So the people told Salih, they was making a mockery of him, they ain't believe in Allah. So they told Salih, you know what? We'll believe in what you say if you tell Allah to cause a she-camel to be pregnant and come out of this big mountain, this big stone in the mountain. That's what they told, trying to make a mockery of Allah and the prophet. We don't like Allah, we don't like you, we don't believe, but we'll believe you. If you tell your God Allah to cause a pregnant she-camel to come out this big rock, then we'll believe. So Salih looking like, man, y'all don't know what y'all playing with. But I'll go and take it back to Allah. So even though Salih thought it was stupid, he went back and told Allah, look, they say they'll believe in you if you do this and this and that. So Allah say, okay, I'ma do it. So Allah caused this big, now this is a story now. We don't believe in a spook and all of that. This is a story. Gotta break it down. So Allah caused this big pregnant she-camel to come out of the rock, the big mountain, just like they told him to do. So Allah say, okay now, I done caused the she-camel, the pregnant, humongous she-camel to come out of this mountain like you said. Now I got a rule about the she-camel. Y'all gotta let the she-camel drink out of the same pond that all your cattle drink out of, and you can't kill them. So when they start letting this big, humongous, pregnant she-camel drink out of the pond with their cattle, the she-camel was drinking up most of the water. So now they hate the she-camel now. But that's what you said you wanted. God credited for it. Now you hate the she-camel. So now they plotting on how they gonna kill the she-camel. That's what you said you wanted, and if Allah would do it, see, that's how Allah use your own desires against you.
That's right.
He'll use it again. You a hypocrite anyway. So I'm going to bless the hypocrite. I'm going to make the hypocrite successful. Then the hypocrite began to hate Allah for doing what you asked him to do. That's a hypocrite.
That's right.
That's a disbeliever. And the messenger say Allah will leave you with no excuse. So now we got the nigga Israelite. They don't accept the messenger. The messenger is a man who is like that she-camel. We was in the white man's world being oppressed, praying to God, help us. White man beating us, he killing us. We need some justice. We need some mercy. We need our own business, and we need this and this and that. So Allah come, raise up a messenger for the black man. Give us everything we need. He give us our own separate nation where you can do for self. Grow your own food. Have your own restaurants. Clean yourself up. If you go to jail, you can still be respected as a Muslim. All that the messenger did. But now we hate the messenger. Something that we longed for 400 years.
Yes.
Now we hate the messenger. Now we hate Islam. Islam is our salvation. Yes. But just like with Hood or Salih, same thing you ask for become the same thing you hate. Allah make the rule against that what you said you want. Now you hate Allah and you hate what he blessed you with. Now you want to kill the she-cat. So they got together and decided how they was going to kill the she-cat. Then they killed it. Now Allah justified in destroying you. Just like with the messenger. Messenger told us that the black man is righteous by nature. That's what he taught us. We thought we was wicked. We didn't think nothing was special about the black man. Nothing was special. We looked at each other, didn't have no love for each other, didn't see nothing special in each other. The messenger say, not only are you righteous by nature, he said every time you look into the face of a black man, you looking at God. Yes. That's how much he taught us to value ourselves. Yes. How much to value black. Then he gave us teachings to back up what he said. He said in the Quran, chapter 30, verse 30, it says Islam is the nature by which Allah has created man. He says there is no altering what Allah has made. That's what the messenger taught. He said Islam is not a religion. Islam is the very nature of the black man. Yes. So he taught us that even if you see a black woman who a prostitute, if you see her and she selling her body, she disrespecting herself, he says she acting other than her own self. Yes. Because you cannot alter what Allah has made. He said if you see a black man who a wino, a junkie in the mud, that black man is God. That's right. No matter what condition he might be in, he's still righteous by nature. Yes, sir. All he doing is acting other than his own self. But he said the white race is wicked by nature. They cannot submit to the will of Allah. So he taught us that Jesus was a Muslim. Yes. He not only didn't just say Jesus was black, he told us that the black man is a Muslim by nature. Right. So if Jesus is a black man, he a Muslim by nature. This black man who is a Muslim by nature was sent to the white race. Not only was he sent to the white race, messenger said he's the last prophet sent to the white race was Jesus. So we see Jesus time and time again continuing to tell the Jew or the Israelite, I'm doing the will of my Father. Jesus talked about the Father, so I love the Father. Just like the messenger said. He said, it is impossible for us to be believers of Allah God without obedience to his will. This means that we love Allah God and we do not question his will. We accept it without reservation. Therefore, to be a Muslim, we must submit to the will of Allah. That's a Muslim. That's right. We love Allah. So because we love Allah, we submit to his will without reservation. Yes. That's a Muslim. But the nigga Israelite, they don't want to submit to Allah's will. So the messenger taught us what they are. He said that you have some black people whose heart has been so hard against the truth that they make themselves enemies to the truth. We got to know these nigga Israelites are enemies to the truth. They not our brothers. We got to know it. Messenger told us that the black man, we brothers by nature. That's what he taught us. But he taught us about the Bible story of Cain and Abel. Yep. Cain and Abel was brothers, blood brothers. Yes. But Cain killed Abel because murder set in his heart because of jealousy. Yes. These nigga Israelites is jealous of the messenger. That's right. They jealous of God, just like in the story of Salih. They were jealous of the she-camel. He drinking up more water than our camels. That's the same thing you asked God for. That's what you asked. But now you mad. Now you hate it. That's the Israelite. God brought us salvation. But some niggas' hearts is so hard to the truth that they make themselves enemies of the truth. Because the messenger said, when you fight against me, you only fighting against your own salvation. That's what we got to remember when we see Israelites or any person who fight against the messenger. They are enemies. Yes. Because when we love Allah, we submit to his will. And the messenger say a Muslim is not a Muslim until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. So when you love Allah, you want your brother to love Allah. When you see a nigga who will mislead the black man, after salvation comes to him, that nigga is not your friend. That nigga is an enemy to you. That's right. Messenger said the whole goal of a nigga who is a hypocrite or a disbeliever is to take you to hell with them. That's what we always got to remember when you talking about a nigga. A nigga just don't hate the truth. He hate those who accept the truth. So when you see this nigga, Captain Yuri, this nigga don't just hate the messenger. He don't just hate Islam. He hate every black person who accept Islam. So we want this nigga, Captain Yuri, to, nigga, we hate you too. I want all them niggas, we hate all you niggas. All you niggas who hate Allah, a believer hate you. That's right. It's impossible to love Allah and love his enemies too. That's right. That's impossible. Yeah. You might can try to say you do it in Christianity. They say we hate the sin, but we love the sin. That's foolishness. Yes, it is. Because the messenger said sin is produced by sin. That's right. It's better to get rid of the sinner than to get rid of the sin. Get rid of the lie, nigga, and the lie go with it. That's right. That's right. Gotta get rid of some of these niggas. Mm-hmm. So you got this nigga, Captain Yuri, a lying nigga. A nigga who want to turn people away from their only salvation. Because the messenger taught us that Allah is offering to us Islam. Islam was never offered to us before. Nothing was offered to the black man but filth and indecency. Yes. That's all we was ever offered. You didn't see niggas like Captain Yuri out there telling the black man, Christianity ain't your religion. You ain't a Negro. You ain't a colored person. You an Israelite. Because they hate Allah and the messenger. They hate salvation. That's hard to believe. Some niggas love the devil. Yes. Messengers say we love the devil because he gives us nothing. That's right. So when we see something, we see a black man that's making something out the black man, we hate it. That's hard to believe. How could a black man hate to see another black man rising to the top? Because he a nigga. Niggas hate salvation. Niggas want to keep you in the mud. Sometime the messenger said when Muslims would accept Islam, their own family turned against them. Yes. Some people hate to see you doing better. Some black people would rather see a junkie stay a junkie. That's just how it is. Some people love to see your downfall. Would rather see you in the mud than see you a black man as a business owner. We can't think that all black people was just so happy that the messenger was. Some people hated what the messenger was doing. Some people get money off of junkies. Some people build a whole way of life over taking advantage of junkies and prostitutes. So when they see the messenger cleaning them up, they hate the messenger. Yeah. Niggas. Sometime a nigga like his lying religion. So they take the messenger's teachings and add it to lies. That's what the messenger said. We can't think everybody that take the teachings of the messenger really like them. Messenger said, you take what I taught and add it to lies. The white man lied to us from the cradle to the grave. So the messenger teaches us nothing but truth from the mouth of God. We'll take that truth and add it to lies. Black people, add it to lies. So the messenger said, he said, Islam is the nature of the righteous. He says that we love, this means that we love Allah and we do not question his will. We accept it without reservation. Therefore, to be a Muslim, we must submit to the will of Allah. He says the name Muslim means one who has submitted to the will of Allah God. Islam, the religion of Allah, is not a new religion. It is as old as Allah God himself. That's what we got to know about Islam. Because these fakes is out here telling the black man that Islam plagiarized something from the Bible. When the messenger told us that Islam is as old as Allah himself. Yes, sir. We never heard nothing like that. Because the messenger taught us about the black man. He said we must have a thorough knowledge of self. So he said that the black man is the only self-created man on the planet. Because he said Allah has no beginning and no end. But he said Allah had to have some kind of a beginning. Right. He said there was nobody around to calculate or to write down the beginning of Allah. Right. He the beginning. So when we say he has no beginning and no end, what we saying is he has some kind of a beginning, but nobody knows his beginning. Nobody was around to calculate. Nobody was around to write down the beginning of Allah. So the messenger, he said the black man is a self-created man. He said God, or the black man, created himself in the triple darkness of the universe. So when Allah created himself, he had a nature. And his nature was Islam. That's the nature of God himself. And that's how old Islam is. It's as old as Allah himself. Yes, sir. So the messenger goes on. He said it was entire submission to his will, which he demanded of all his creatures. That's what the messenger taught us about Allah. When he created himself. Now he got the nature of Islam. Now everything he creates, he demands submission to his will. Yes. Allah did not create nothing that has free will, as we think. Allah demands that we submit to his will. Now you got people today who got the option. Because the white man, he been rude. So now he causes us to be other than our own self. So now we can be niggas now. Now we cannot submit. Now we can take truth and add it to lies, because some niggas like the white man's civilization more than they like a righteous civilization. Yes. Some niggas don't want to hear you tell them only one woman. Some niggas don't like that. Some niggas don't like to hear you say he can't smoke. He can't eat hard. Some niggas' hearts so hardened to the truth, they don't want to hear none of that about God. That's how some niggas is. But the messenger said, he said, Allah demands submission from all his creation. That means the sun. Allah created the sun to be a Muslim. Yes. Allah created the moon to be a Muslim. The fish to be a Muslim. He a Muslim. Yes. So everything in his creation is a Muslim. Messengers say willingly or unwillingly. That's what he said the Holy Quran said. Messengers said in the Holy Quran that Allah told his creation, you can submit to me willing or unwilling. So the messenger said the creation response was, we come willingly. Nothing in Allah's creation is unwilling. As long as the sun been on the scene, he been submitting to the will of the nature that he was created in. Never going outside of that. What if the son decided he wanted to be a homosexual son? Going outside of the nature he would make, a lesbian son. That don't even sound right. Lesbian stars. Lesbian moon and Mars are homosexual. Don't even sound right. Because everything that Allah created submits to the will or the nature that it was made in. Yeah. And it's been doing that for trillions of years. Yeah. But the messenger said that Yaqub, he said 8,400 years before the birth of Yaqub, the wise black scientists knew that there would be a black man born 20 miles outside of the holy city of Mecca, Arabia, born with the determined idea to make a people to rule the black man. That's the beginning of the rebelliousness. Yaqub. Messengers say he was born with a determined idea. So the messenger said when Yaqub got of age, he began to try to convince other people to go along with his idea. That was Yaqub. He said first Yaqub was teaching Islam outside of Mecca, trying to get people to go along with what he was talking about because it was his idea to make these people. So the messenger said when Yaqub had enough people to follow him, he said the king rounded up Yaqub and all of his followers, which was 59,999 people, plus Yaqub makes 60,000. So he said he rounded them all up and sent them to an island called Pelan or Patmos in the Bible. That's the first 6. So the messenger said that Yaqub, with the law of birth control, began to graft the white race out of the black man. So the messenger said it took 600 years for Yaqub to graft the white race from the black man. That's the second 6. Because the messenger said in the Bible, it says 666 is the number of a man. That man is the white race. So the messenger said the third 6 was the 6 days that Yaqub's grafted devil was given to rule. Yes. That's his number. Yes. It was 60,000 black people who went to the island of Pelan to start grafting the white race. And the messenger said that them 60 or 59,999 didn't know exactly what Yaqub had in mind. Right. Because it was his idea. He just got them to go along with it. So once they went along with him, he took them on his island. They don't know what's going on. But he said, the messenger said, Yaqub told his followers, once they kicked them off and sent them to Patmos, or Pilan in the Bible, messenger said, Yaqub tell them, I'll teach you how to go back and rule all of them. They didn't know what he was talking about. They're like, yeah, how they gonna kick us out? We gonna go back and rule them all. They don't know how they was going back to rule. They was going back to rule as the white race.
That's right. Teach them.
So the messenger says that the white man, after Yaqub grafted for 600 years on the island of Pilan called Patmos in the Bible, he said they went back to Mecca and started trouble in heaven for 6 months. That's the white race.
Yes.
A people who was made wicked and evil. Now let's go into this 600 years. The messenger said that the first 200 years on this island, because how Yaqub crafted the white race, the messenger said that he separated the brown germ from the black germ, crafted it into his last stage, which is white. He said once it became white, it was no more original, it was weak and wicked. That's the white man. 100% wicked and evil. He said once all of the black blood was thinned out, it was no more original. Now the white man is strange. He not like the black man. The black man has a nature to submit to Allah's will, but the white man don't. He got a nature to rebel against Allah. That's why the messenger called him the unalike.
Right.
He is the unalike human being. He said Yaqub made him like that to attract the black man. That's the white man.
Yes, sir.
He said we never saw a white man before. He was made to attract us. Like, look at that. We black, he white. So that alone attract us to him. Then he come talking about how he love Allah too. He come giving us the greetings. But the messenger said Yaqub taught them the science called trick knowledge. That's the science of trick saying lies.
Yes.
So the messenger said, the white man will speak one word of truth and will follow it up with 1,000 words of lies.
Yes.
That's how they trick the black man. You look at him, you ain't never seen nobody who 100% wicked and evil. You ain't never lived under lies. How can you imagine if you never was lied to? You don't even know how to, what happens when people lie? You just used to people telling the truth. Then you see this white person coming up who looks strange. Like, what is he? A white man. He telling you, oh, I love Allah and all praises due, assalamu alaikum and all of that. Then he adds some lies into what he said. Then he get you to like his lie. You ain't never been lied to. You think what he's saying is true. So he tell you, the messenger said, start spreading lies. Start spreading gossip. Causing the black man to fight and kill one another. That was the white man.
Yes, that's it.
The Israelite, the Jew, they was the ones who caused the black man to fight and kill one another.
Yes, sir.
So the messenger said after the white man was in heaven, causing trouble, causing the black man to fight and kill one another, he said once again, they rounded him up. He said all that they could find, had them walk to the caves and hillsides of Europe, where they spent 2,000 years. Messenger said they had no literature. They had nothing to start a civilization. He said they stripped them of all their costumes. So the white man in the caves and hillsides of Europe, messenger said he became savage. Started walking around on his all fours. Then the messenger said after 2,000 years, Moses came. That's where these Israelite niggas come in. Moses was another black man who was sent to the death. Because the messenger said Allah made a deal with the death. Not the white man, but Yaqub. Yes. Messenger said Yaqub was an original black man. He was righteous by nature like us. But the messenger said that since it was his idea, he get classified as the devil. Right. So the messenger said that Allah made a deal with the devil, or Yaqub, and said that they would give his race 6,000 years to rule. So the messenger said, he said God and the devil cannot rule at the same time. So he said Islam was put to sleep. Because he said the white man would rule under tricks and lies. And he said you could not teach Islam while the white man would rule. Yes. So the white race, the Israelite, he come out the cave. Because Moses came. Moses is the one the messenger said civilized the white race. Yes. He is the one who came in there and stood them up, put a board in their back, told them how to cook their food, all them laws that it say Moses gave to these niggas that they try to say. It was given to the white man. But the white man wrote the Bible to hide the truth from the black man. So when they talk about Moses in the Bible, they write a story about the messenger. They don't write a story about Moses. Because Moses is the one who went in a cave and civilized the white race. Right. But the white race is wicked and evil by nature. So soon as Moses was gone, they started adding paganism and lies to what Moses taught. So that's how you get Judaism. Yes. The Jew. And lies to what Moses taught. Because I heard one of these nigger Israelites. They was talking to this white Jew. Because in the book of Numbers, I forget the chapter. I think it's chapter 1, verse 11. The nigger Israelites then got smart. They say you are what your father is. Because in the book of Numbers, when Moses was talking about their pedigree, he said that you are what your father is. So he was telling a Jew. He said, but you a Jew, saying that Jews, because the laws with the Jews is, to be a Jew, your mama got to be a Jew. So the smart nigga Israelite think they know something now. We the Israelites. So y'all talking about you are a Jew if your mama a Jew, but Moses said that you are what your father is. So now the nigga Jew or the nigga Israelite think he's the Israelite, and the Jew looking at him like, nigga, we wrote the story. Nigga, we gave the story to you, nigga. Nigga, you don't even know you fuel for the fire, nigga. So the Jew playing dumb. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So the nigga Jew feel like he got one up on the white man. When you don't know, nigga, you fuel for the fire. Right. Sometimes the messengers say you just so ignorant. You underestimate. Messengers say you don't even know that what you laugh and make a mockery of is that very thing that's going to overtake you. Mm-hmm. So the messenger taught us that in the Bible, when it's talking about Moses, it's talking about our condition right here in America. Yes. It's not talking about no Moses of 4,000 years ago. Because Moses of 4,000 years ago came into the caves and hillsides of Europe for the Jew. Right. Because when you look at the laws, one of the laws of Moses is talking about man ain't supposed to sleep with nothing but man. Like he ain't supposed to sleep with dogs and stuff. You ain't got to tell the black man that. That's what you got to tell the white man.
Right.
Because the white man was in the caves and hillsides of Europe. He was the one mating with his dog. That's why the messengers say the white man say the dog is man's best friend. So what is it? You can't lay with mankind. Something is telling them, it tell them about homosexuality. It tell them about sleeping with animals. All that was given to the white race.
Yes.
None of that was given to the black man. Because the messenger said the black man is righteous by nature.
Yes.
He said you can't alter what Allah has made. So the messenger said when Allah offers to us Islam, he said Islam is not for all mankind. He said because all mankind cannot submit to the will of Allah. This comes from the messenger. December 1st, 1956. It says Islam is for the black man. He says, why not Islam for all mankind? The answer is simple. All mankind cannot believe and obey the teachings of Islam. All mankind are not members of the righteous. Islam is righteousness. And he who would believe in it and do the will of Allah must be by nature one born of Allah. The only people born of Allah is the black nation, of which the so-called American Negroes are descendants. Therefore, Islam is offered to them.
Yes, sir.
So when we see Jesus going to the Jew, telling them how much he loved his father, we don't know that Jesus not doing this just like it's some choice he making in his mind. Jesus a Muslim by nature.
Yes.
He doing what comes natural to him. And the Jews is doing what comes natural to them. Rebel. Jesus told them my truth ain't in you. You can't hear my words because I'm telling you. Could you imagine telling a person, you can't hear me because I'm telling you the truth? Not because what I'm saying is so high science. Not because what I'm saying is so hard to believe. But you can't hear my words because if I was lying to you or mixing truth, you would be with that. But since I'm telling you the truth, you ain't with that. So the messenger said that when Jesus was talking to them in John 8:44, he said, ye are of your father, the devil.
Yes.
That's the whole white race. That's why I love talking about these niggas. Because I believe, like the messenger said, he was talking about his history when he had to go to jail. He said it felt bad that you got to go to jail. But he said I didn't cry. He said because I knew one day I'd be the winner. That's why I talk about these nigga Israelites like I do. I wish that one day when we win, we'll be sitting back like we do when we get older and watch them old family tape. Like, remember when you said, I want to be like, I remember when I used to talk about them niggas like a dog.
Yes.
I remember that. Now I remember talking about, now we done overcome them niggas.
That's right.
Now we done crushed them niggas like a ant. I believed it when it was only a few.
Yes.
I ain't never accept none of them niggas as my brother. Never. I always hated them niggas. I wasn't ashamed to tell the world I hate them niggas. That's why I call them niggas so much. I want everybody to know I'm one of the Muslims that hate them niggas. Not ashamed to say it.
Yes, sir.
I'm like, Jesus, I love the Father.
Yes.
I appreciate Master Farad Muhammad for his coming.
Yes.
If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even have a message. We don't even think about that. They trying to talk. Could you imagine if it wasn't no messenger? Could you imagine if Wallace and them got rid of all them teachers they were throwing in the garbage? Could you imagine? What would we be doing? That's what I think about when I see this nigga.
Yes, sir.
This Yuri nigga. Nigga trying to do just what Wallace did. It's some people in the future that's gonna appreciate the message like we do. Messenger said it's gonna be a little group who gonna need these papers.
That's right.
The same thing this nigga trying to hide from the black man. That's why I ain't ashamed. Not only am I not ashamed, I know one day it's gonna be for these niggas like it was in Kenya. That's the day I really can't wait. Till Muslims wanna be Muslims. And every corner you see these chump niggas, they get to run. I'm saying it long before I wanna be with them.
Yeah.
Them the Muslims I want. The Muslims that wanna fight these niggas. Just like they'd have fought them with the message. Do you think that the message, after all he suffered to teach us when Master Farad Muhammad came, you think he would just be sitting around letting these niggas mislead the black man? When the messenger heard his own ministers misleading the black man, he would get up and say, I don't teach that.
That's right.
That ain't what I teach. If you gonna represent me, you say what you and me say. Messenger wouldn't even let his own minister, his son, he called his son a hypocrite before the world.
Yes.
His son came back, said, I'm sorry, Daddy. Said, I can't accept you. That was the message.
Yes.
Show you how much he loved Allah. I can't accept you back. They gonna have to do. So now we can look back and see hypocrites. All that Wallace was saying, he didn't mean. He hated the messenger more when he didn't accept him than he did before. Because he knew he the messenger. He ain't a dumb man. He see right through me. He know I'm a hypocrite. He know I'm lying. He won't accept me. So that hypocrite stayed around for 10 years with the hate in his heart for his father. So the messenger being the messenger, he said this nation is honeycomb with hypocrites. I see. But the messenger kept working. Messenger kept coming out with new Muhammad Speaks newspaper articles. Keep teaching the believers. Even though he know that the nation is honeycomb with hypocrites. So right before he died, he tell the Muslims, it's a hypocrite rising up through the ranks. He's a master of the English language. He gonna make Malcolm's hypocrisy look like child's play.
That's right. That's him.
Messenger ain't leave us hanging. He taught us about all the hypocrites. Then he told some of the believers one day, you gonna be able to fit all my followers in the back of a taxi cab. Oh wait, but he was still working. Still teaching, still telling brothers, go out there and sell them papers. Messengers say, don't give them. If you don't sell them, don't throw them away, give them away.
Right.
Because the messenger knew, I got to get this teaching to as many. We don't know what them people do. Them people that take them papers, buy them, and want to hold them as souvenir. Then when eBay come, when them few little followers is up, now they start selling them on eBay. The same brothers who bought them back then don't care nothing about them, but now they can get them some money. Now the believers who need it can buy. But the message say, don't throw it away, give it away. Give it to anybody you see. Sit it on the bus. Put it at the bus stop. Just give it to anybody. Because he knew it's going to be some people who going to need it. Because it's going to be a lot of niggas. Lot of niggas. And I ain't gonna be around. And they gonna need me just like they need me while I'm alive. So I'm gonna give them my words. Messenger in the article says, save these articles.
That's right.
Because in them is your life.
That's what he said.
So now you got a nigga who trying to mislead the black man. What Muslim love a nigga like, yo, I hate this nigga. I want every Muslim to know I ain't one of them. Not ashamed. Don't care what nobody think. I hate them niggas. Because I love the message.
Yes, sir.
That's why you never hear me say nothing about no FBI with Malcolm in my conclusion. I never say that. When you love the messenger, it's disrespect to talk about some FBI.
Right.
The FBI wasn't slandering the messenger. What Malcolm said about the FBI? He ain't say nothing about no FBI. He was talking about the message.
Right.
But that's what hypocrites do. They try to take the focus away from the message. The problem with Malcolm had nothing to do with the FBI. It had nothing to do with brothers' jealousy. It had everything to do with the message. God came and chose him. The FBI didn't choose him. He needed no help from the FBI. Allah protected the message.
That's right.
He said, Allah protects me. He said, you don't protect me. He does. He said, if you and me, 100%, Allah will be with you 1,000%.
Yes.
He never mentioned no FBI. He said, Allah. He said, I will no more to suffer the slander from the hypocrites. Then after Malcolm was dead, the messenger said Malcolm's fall is an example for hypocrites who wish to scandalize Allah, his messenger, and his message. So I just think if I could love the messenger as much as I love, I can only imagine how much more if I could go shake his hand. If I could go to Chicago to see the messenger of God and could shake his hand and he look in my face, the brother say, Salam alaikum, brother, please. Them nigga Israelites wouldn't have a chance.
Right.
Then you got more brothers in here too who no. Wasn't no FBI. Muslims got tired of listening to that nigga smud watch the message. Now what I will say, messenger told us we don't carry weapons. So I can't condone the shooting part. But all the rest of that was Muslims who loved the message. He didn't need no FBI. He just needed followers. That's why the messenger said, he said, not only do I got Allah, but I got my followers. Yeah. Messenger knew he had brothers who loved him. No black man has ever done for us what he did for us. He told us that we special to God and that God came to us and God chose us to be the future root. Yes. He told us that the white race is a race of devils. He said that whole white race was made by a black scientist named Yaqub. Yes, that was the message. Wasn't no nigga Israelites out there. It was the message. Giving the black man pride. Not only did you know that the black man made the white man, the black man will destroy the white man. Yes. That's what the messenger taught. He said the black man knew what the white man was going to do before he was made. Messenger talked about the black man in my conclusion. He said the black man can tell the history of the future just as clear as he can tell the history of the past. That's how wise the black man is. Yeah. Messenger said the black man can tune into your thinking thousands of years before you born. Can you imagine? We never thought about that kind of stuff. Messenger told us that thought travels. That's right. 4,600,000,000 miles a second. That's right. Whoever taught the black man something about our brain? He said we got original brain. Black man, the white man got grafted brain. He said the black man got 7.5 ounces of brain. White man got 6 ounces of brain. His brain is grafted brain. Messenger told us the black and white man from the rooter to the tutor. That's right. So could you imagine if all that was gone? Can we imagine? What if these Israelites get successful and able to just totally destroy the messenger's teachings? take it off the map. Them and Wallace and Farrakhan. What will we do? We will be lost.
Yes.
We will go right back in the mud. So I say before we do that, we got to fight. That's how they taught us in the military. You got to fight. If you they used to tell us when we was in the ship. They used to tell us about falling over. They used to tell us about how dark it would be. How many sharks in the water. But you got to fight. So they taught us when we had our belts and stuff on. We would wear our clothes in a manner that if we fell off the ship, we would be able to float. They told us what we could do is if we have our pants tucked in our shirt being neat, if we get in the water and we take our one breath and just say, in our shirt, it'll inflate and we can float. You got to fight. They told us if you take your pants off and tie the legs together and just get some air in it and tie your belt tight, you can use it as a raft. That's what they taught us. They told us how to float. They said if you just kick your legs back and don't panic, you can float. Because you got to fight. You can't give up. Even if you out in the middle of the ocean. He said they say you might be out there for days. But what you going to do? Give up? You got to fight.
Yeah.
It was plenty ships that crashed and sunk. Sailors out there, they had one ship. I forget the name. You can look it up. 1,600 people. Only 300 survived. Most of them people was eaten by sharks. But you got to fight. Them 300 fought. Can't give up. That's what we got to do. We got to fight. Odds is against us. It's only a few. What else we gonna do but fight?
Right.
The messenger fought. Could you imagine all that hard work after 44 years and you still look like, how I'm still honeycombed with hypocrites?
Right.
All this I done did. All this I done cleaned up all these hundreds of thousands of people, all these businesses, all this. But I'm still honeycombed with hypocrites. So now you got to tell people, keep them papers and just give it to the small group. Small group. After all that work. You done been to jail. You done been on the run. You done had all kind of national representative, all kind of Muhammad Ali's and stuff. Still honeycombed with hypocrites. But the messenger still fought. That's what we got to remember.
Right.
Messenger fought to the end.
Yes.
He fought until death took him away.
That's right.
Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. So I leave you as I came in the nation of Islam, greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful, sole master's day of judgment in which we now live. The alone that we serve and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path. Path of those upon whom thou spill thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served, worship or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum